make an intro video for this Jaws channel. JAWS is actually an acronym for Jackson Auto Wire Service. I started that company in, I'm going to say 2004. So 16 years ago I started it. Wow, has it been that long? Out of necessity, actually. I've been a mechanic most of my life, and we were living in Idaho, and I got in a car wreck and I couldn't really do major work at the time, like bending over hoods and stuff, as much. And so going through physical therapy, I needed to have a job. So I created this business where I would go out and work on electrical stuff, basically wiring old hot rods. And I got fairly, almost a household name, kind of, at the time in the area, around that group of people, small group of people that were building old cars in that area. They knew me, and at one point I worked on most of the cars in the area. Little things, complete wiring. I'd come into a shop and wire a car completely till like after it was done and finished. Maybe I might like do some tweaks to it or whatever. But at some point at the shop in my house, I was working on people's cars. I traveled around a lot. Worked out of the trunk of my car or the back of my old hot rod or whatever, or my pickup that I had. And I've owned a lot of cars. Pretty much nothing newer than 1972. That was pretty much my policy. Lots of Chevelles and Camaros and things like that. But the later part of my life, I've really liked 30s and 40s and 50s cars. Some 60s, but mostly like 30s and 40s. And I had this old coupe that I built. In fact, when we moved to Hawaii, it was our only car. We brought it over here, and after 6 or 7 years of driving it every day, which included working on it only on the weekends or evenings, and as a necessity because it was my only car, including chopping it and engine transplants and differentials and transmissions and everything else, it eventually turned into a chopped lead sled with a Mustang 2 front end and air conditioning and power steering, power brakes. And I had a small block, and I had a couple of them. The last small block had aluminum heads, and then I eventually put in a Tremec 5-speed with a 10-volt and a posi. Biggest mistake of my life is I put a Detroit locker in there. That was a mistake. I never should have put a locker in that thing. It made it uncomfortable. I should have done like a clutch style or an Eaton True Track or something. That would have kept it solid, but it was irritating because it would wiggle around on and off throttle like lockers do. But that's a side story. Anyway, I put probably 150, 160,000 miles on that car. I think now it's in Australia, maybe. Anyway, I've been Jaws on several motorcycle forums and hot rod forums where I've done like some technical stuff and just been around when forums were around. I've been around for a long time. But this is the first time I've ever done like a YouTube thing or actually filmed myself in person or a selfie or anything. I don't really do social media other than just the forums, and I've always only just contributed based on what other people needed or something I was doing at the time. But I have a special project coming. Of all the cars I've had, there's one I regretted selling. And I had a 57 Chevy 150 two-door post. And it was an old drag car that I got. And it was out of a field that another guy pulled out of the field. And it still had the hot 283 in it. And this was before rat rods were kind of cool. It's still, you could make out like, in the space between because the 150 has like a 55, 56, 55 trim on the back of it. It's pretty bare bones, but you could make out something special in the back. And it had like, I think it ran D-stock or whatever class, but it was pretty neat. I threw a 4-speed in it with this solid lifter 283, and it was running headers with pickup truck drive line welded on as collectors and slash cut before the rear end. And it was loud, but it wasn't very fast. It sounded a lot meaner than it was. I mean, back in the day, it was probably really fast, but it wasn't really quick. It wrapped to the moon, but it just wasn't super powerful. It was a 283, but I loved it. And I lost it. I let it go, and I always regretted it. And so that was like 2004 or 5, maybe 3. I don't remember exactly when. But I always wanted another one of those, and what I was going to do to that car. And here it is, 2020. And I've been blessed and fortunate enough to end up with another one. And it's rough. The car's real rough. But it's here locally to me in Hawaii. I'm waiting for it to actually arrive, which hopefully arrives this week, Friday. And then you guys will all see it. And from this point on, you'll see the car being done. It does have a narrow 9-inch. I think it's mini tubbed. I'm going to crawl over the whole thing and you'll see what I see. No motor, no transmission. I'm working on a deal. I'm trying to get some seats. I'm trying to get, I have an old Muncie 4-speed laying around somewhere that I got, and I might pick up another one. I think there's a Saginaw maybe coming with it. I don't know. I think the firewall's recessed, I think, for a big block. The suspension's all been rebuilt. The glass is all good. At one time, this car was a super, super nice car, but it's changed hands, and I've been after this particular car for several years. It's come up on Craigslist and different ads over the years in different configurations. And finally, it was financially feasible for me to pick it up. So it's on its way, and I'm in love with it. Title's in my name. The plates are in storage, which if you don't know what that is, it means that there are no back taxes and taxes being accrued on the vehicle for every year road use tax, a luxury tax. It's in storage, the plates are in storage, so the car is mine and sitting dormant, and it's in pieces. And someday it'll be here, and when it does, you'll get to see it as we produce it. Anyway, for those of you that have known for a long time, it's good to finally see you, I guess, or you finally see me. It's been years. Those of you that are just joining in and just meeting me for the first time, welcome. I hope this gets out there, and I hope you guys enjoy this as much as I do. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.